This is the time of year, it's the NCAA basketball tournament starting, but it's also the time of year where we start to look ahead to the next college football season and rankings will start to come out, and inevitably you'll hear people talk about how the system is biased towards blue blood programs. And you're not wrong. You're not wrong about that. I'm kind of hard to nail down on this. It's funny, I got asked this because I'm kind of hard to nail down on it because I like major brands. They move the needle for us. They make us a lot of money. In a very self-centered aspect, the bigger brands doing good are good for our show. Everybody in media will tell you that. However, at the same time, I love attaching ourselves any given year to smaller branded teams that are making runs. I'd probably be the same way in basketball. For example, I think it's absurd that there's even discussion right now of doing away with the model in the NCAA tournament where you have the auto bid. I hate auto bids in college football. So like I said, it's trying to nail Jello to the wall to get me to be consistent on this. It's kind of case by case for me. But as for college football and as for the preferential treatment those big brands get, I think people sometimes get mad at other people who are making decisions just like they would if they were in that position. Now, in my world, that's you have a college football show, you look at the numbers, and when you talk Alabama or Texas, you get a whole lot more viewers tune in than when you talk Northwestern. Well, that can make you mad, but yet I am confident if you were in this chair, you'd end up doing the same thing. Well, if you were running a television network, would you lean in? If you were producing studio coverage, would you have your on-air talent lean in? If you were running editorial for a major website, would you have your writers lean in on big brands more so than obscure brands? The answer is probably yes, unless you wanted to run a nonprofit, in which case more power to you. But what I like about college football is the success you have long-term in college football is not always tied to size of media market, which is way different than pro sports. Major League Baseball, I grew up a Braves fan, but also I liked Oakland because I was watching Oakland in the early 2000s and also liked the color scheme. Still do. It's a shame what's happened to the organization, but it's a small market organization. Nothing was ever going to change that is the point. And in pro sports, you have baked-in advantages if you're in one of the big five media markets versus if you're in one of the markets 20 to 25 on the meter. In college football, look where the superpowers are. Like Clemson won back-to-back titles parked in Clemson, South Carolina. Alabama has been perhaps the greatest dynasty in the history of the sport, and they've done it multiple times, and they're in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So here's where I'm conflicted on this. If you wanted to just open your eyes in the here and now and tell me, hey, Alabama's gotten preferential coverage and treatment for a long time, you're dead on the money. What I would just do, and what I choose to do, is I'd ask, why are they getting it? And what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to look at programs and groups of people that 75 or 100 years ago decided we're going to take this thing seriously. We're going to prioritize it. We're going to invest in it. We're going to market it, where everyone is going to understand that we're just a freight train. We're moving the same direction, and it's about football. And I don't care if we're in College Station, Texas, Columbia, Missouri, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, wherever we are, that's what we're going to take seriously. If you do that decade over decade and you build up that equity, to me, you're going to have bias in your favor. You've probably been successful over multiple years. Why would I be mad at that? I'd be mad at it if my program hadn't done the same thing, or I was new to the party and I didn't get that treatment. But really, I'm not mad at the outside. I'm not externally mad. I'm mad at the inside. I'm mad we didn't do long ago what those guys did. So yeah, it exists. To answer the question, I acknowledge it. I acknowledge I participate in it. Not even we, I participate in it. I just question if you'd act the same way. And I question, who are you really mad at when that bias starts to weave itself into narratives or coverage or whatever it is you want to talk about?